Hi, Megan Thompson with Megan Thompson Coaching here. And I want to speak about parenting a sensitive child in the summer, what challenges you might be having, and if you were trying to escape the winter blues and now are dealing with the summer blues, let's talk about it. Let's cover the meltdown cycle in the summertime and where your challenges might be lying so that you can break out of this pattern from the root. So here at MTC, we help parents of highly sensitive kids, highly sensitive teens break out of the meltdown cycle, the shutdown cycle. This is hitting, kicking, screaming, yelling, throwing your body on the floor, running away, shutting down, refusing to do anything, just staying stuck on screens, especially for older kids, and not engaging with the family or engaging with the family in an ineffective way through name calling, through refusing to participate in family tasks, etc., family activities as well, chores, you name it, forget it, right? And this is the challenge that parents of sensitive kids stuck in the meltdown cycle can be dealing with year round. And so summer isn't immune to that, right? And so let's talk about it. You might be struggling of a different magnitude in the summer, in the sense that you have a different schedule. But I can imagine that when you are looking to end the school year, waiting for your child to break out of that pattern of the last couple of weeks and count down your days to sunshine and sprinklers and pool days and vacations, it could have been tricky to even think about imagining pool related meltdowns, and you probably weren't spending a lot of time wondering or worrying about how your kid would be handling sunscreen, right? And yet here you are, focused on trying to get your kid into the camp t-shirt, even though it has that scratchy tag on the back, worried about whether or not your kid is actually going to get sunburned because you have no idea how much you actually covered them with their skin while they were writhing around, struggling with getting that sunscreen on, and yet that's a non-negotiable. We're trying to prevent skin cancer here, right? And with that being said, if you're sending your child out and about and out in the day, there are certain things that need to be taken care of, safety issues that sensitive kids can really seriously struggle with, which might even lend you to not even wanting to go outside at all, not even wanting to start the process of getting them to camp that starts next week or anything like that, because the challenges that you can have, you can spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday getting them used to the camp routine, and then they finally enjoy Thursday, and then they're sad Friday because it's over. So what's the point, right? You might be asking yourself, why am I going through all of this struggle? Why am I trying to help my child in these ways? Is it the approach that I'm taking that I can that can be changed, or is it my child is not cut out for camp. My child is not cut out for different experiences like this. But that might not be a privilege that you can experience. It might not be that you're living on one parent's salary and the other parent can stay home. The challenge that you're having at this point in the summertime might be that you're just waiting for the end of the day so that you can enjoy your cocktail at night, or just relax time outside with the crickets and the breeze. Because you've been struggling all day long with nothing flowing in the way that you want it to with your sensitive child. And this is what we're here to address, because when you're parenting a sensitive kid, the meltdown cycle doesn't stop at the end of school. It doesn't stop at the end of winter or spring weather. And many of you might notice that your child might have less intense meltdowns because maybe you're not taking them to a scheduled event that starts at 7 a.m., right? Maybe they're able to sleep a little bit longer because camp doesn't start till 9 or something like that. But there's still some pretty significant challenges that can come into play in the summertime, not just sensory related, bathing suits not fitting properly, splashing in the water leading to even peer relationship problems. You might have a challenge with your sensitive kid who you can see now is really struggling socially. They might be trying to police the whole pool, telling the kids in the pool that they are not allowed to splash each other because he's nervous about getting splashed himself or doesn't like getting splashed himself, avoiding pool time at all, but then complaining to you that he's really hot. Because he doesn't want to get splashed in the face. And this challenge can happen consistently. We see this happening for parents of sensitive kids with 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 11-year-olds, etc. And that misery, that level of misery that a sensitive kid stuck in the meltdown cycle can experience can be pervasive. You know, it can get to the point where you feel like your day is being ruined because you can't even enjoy the sunshine yourself. You're waiting for the end of the day as well, and until the kids go to bed or until you're off duty, if you will. And this is really challenging, and it's not the way that anybody needs to live. Especially parenting a sensitive kid. Your sensitive kid has a world of strengths, so many that that your sensitive child can demonstrate: creativity, empathy, compassion towards people and animals, not just animals, people too. That when stuck in this meltdown cycle, it can be really hard to find those strengths and see them not as flukes, that just show up as glimmers of hope, right? And so it's really important for you to notice what breaks out of this pattern. And the main concern that we really need to be focused on here is that this is not going to go away by finding the perfect sensory experience. If you are certain that your sensitive kid is dealing with sensory challenges due to their mood, where you notice there's no rhyme or reason, they might be able to tolerate a bathing suit one day and the same bathing suit tomorrow is horrible, terrible, no good, very bad, then it's important for you to notice that is likely not due to any concern with a brain-based challenge like sensory processing disorder, but rather more a mood like sensory processing sensitivity, which is the personality trait. If the child is highly sensitive, that's the same words there, just the words that we use in the research. And so when we think about the challenge, parenting a sensitive kid, it needs to be it needs to be turned around when you're stuck in that meltdown cycle in a way that allows you to break out of this pattern effectively and consistently so that you can enjoy your time. So you can enjoy your time with your kids. So you can go out to different museums or take nature hikes and go to the pool or play in the sprinkler and relax while your kids are running around in the backyard, playing with the dogs or with the neighbors' kids, etc., so that you have your time, because every family deserves a safe, happy, healthy summer that is full of relaxation and enjoyment. And now when we think about the important pieces that needs to be highlighted here, it can't just be about helping your kids' skin tolerate a bathing suit or sunscreen or heat. It needs to be about helping your child tolerate disappointment and frustration and aggravation and change and shifts in their routine and sleep challenges that can come about with a difference in the summer routine. And so it's not about the activity. It's not about the prep time that you have to change the activity. It's not about the material that you that you put on your child, like the clothing that you put on your child. That is keeping you stuck. It's all about the challenges for exhaustion that everybody in the family is dealing with, not just you, and not just your highly sensitive child. That your highly sensitive child is struggling with the ability to deal with change if they're having daily meltdowns. It's not developmentally appropriate for sensitive kids to be having daily meltdowns. And this is important for children ages 4 and up, 3, 4 and up. Daily meltdowns are exhausting for your child. And obviously we know they're exhausting for you. You're crashing at the end of the night, or you're checking out, you're compartmentalizing, maybe spending a lot of time on your phone, checking out and reading, or just, trying to focus on work and not focus on the family. And all of those are symptoms of the meltdown cycle. And it's important for you as a parent to notice that this is a whole family dynamic issue. Everybody in the family is affected, and your highly sensitive child is too. And you have to start breaking out of this pattern in a way that moves you in the right direction. And that requires a pretty significant amount of shift that is not school specific. It's not work specific. It's not activity specific or community based activity specific. It is a specific change that your family needs to make. And I encourage you to ensure that you walk through our whole entire masterclass on this. It's a 45-minute training that is free for you. And we're going to put the link in here for you to listen to, because the shifts that you need to make have nothing to do with finding the right perfect sunscreen that dries magically in 3 seconds, and your child is able to get it put on without giving you the Medusa turned to stone stare, or screaming bloody murder because their skin's on fire. All of that is definitely a symptom of the challenges that you're having. And so my free training, the 5 steps that my clients take to break out of the meltdown cycle, eliminate the daily meltdowns, is available for you, as well as if you're parenting a teen, our 5 steps for parents of sensitive teens who are breaking out of the shutdown or refusal cycle. So we'll make sure that you get both links there, and you can watch the one that's relevant to you. If you're parenting a sensitive child 14 and under, so 8th grade and under, if your child has completed 8th grade, which means they are now a high schooler, then you watch the teen one. But the training is relevant based on age, because that's what works. Highly sensitive kids change through their relationship with their parents. And so we work with parents specifically when we shift out of this dynamic. So our clients' shifts and priorities are different. And as we've designed the services that we provide and all of the help, I break it down and those big principles that you need to be paying attention to yourself in order to shift out of this dynamic. And that's true if your child is 8th grade and under. And then once your kid hits the high school age, they start to change pretty significantly in development, but also in the way that they relate to the world and how the world relates to them. And so that's when we start to shift to mutual responsibility in independence. And that's where teens and parents are needing to focus on making that shift and finding the motivation to do that. And so parents and their teens need to be focusing on different steps. And so we break that down in a different training. So again, go ahead over to meganthompsoncoaching.com/5 steps if you're parenting an 8th grader or younger. And then meganthompsoncoaching.com/5 steps_teen if you're parenting a teenager 14 and up who's in high school age. Okay. So again, we're happy to support you, and we've got a whole free training that's about 45 minutes for you to be able to understand where the meltdown cycle is coming from, what is the challenge that you're dealing with, and how to break out of it consistently and do that in a way that eliminates those daily meltdowns, eliminates those daily shutdowns. So you are no longer dealing with this level of strife in the summertime, in the fall, in the winter, or in the spring at all, year round, okay? So you're not just waiting for a lesser level of responsibility, which for some sensitive kids might not actually be the case, depending on your schedule and what you have planned in the summer. It might just be just as busy as the fall, just differently busy. So let's make sure that we cover all of those things. And we do that in that free training we've got available for you. Okay.